Good morning, everybody. It is October the 28th, 2016, and we have one more trading day, Monday, Halloween, to wrap up this trading month. This is a big news day for us. The news overnight was mixed. French GDP, French consumer spending were down. Spanish GDP was as forecast. The KOF economic barometer was up, so news was mixed. But the big news today is the U.S. GDP, and it's called up 2.6%. This is the advanced flash. It will be subject to adjustment next month. 1.5 for the deflator. Employment cost index plus 0.6. Consumer sentiment 88.5. And Baker Hughes rig count last was 696. That number is probably going to come in higher than forecast. So the focus is going to be GDP, and the reason for that is that if it hits this 2.6 number, the odds right now reflected by pricing in the futures markets, 74% that the Fed raises interest rates in December. If it comes in less than 2, that will be questioned. Treasuries could rally. If it comes in greater than 3, definitely will be raising interest rates in December. The deflator at 1.5, the Fed would like it at 2. If you have to rent your housing, if you go to the grocery store and the food market, etc., I see it stuff up all over, fertilizer, just across the board. My feeling is that inflation is a lot higher than 1.5. Employment cost index, it seems a little high given the 94 million people that are out of work. Consumer sentiment at 88.5 can come in lower than forecasts. And Baker Hughes rig count, my guess is going to be, we'll see additions to that. So we have a newsday trade when you get right down to it. And if you know the news, you can take advantage of that knowledge and place your order before the news hits the tape. Resistance starts at 16 to 20, so sell failure to take out 16 to 20. Then 23 to 27 would be sell 2. On the buy side, 4 to 8. We'll adjust this after the news. And then 29 to 01 for buy 2. Looking at the 30-year, a resistance starts at 16, so number 1 will be 16 to 20, 23 to 27, sell 1, 3 to 7, sell 2. On the buy side, we've got support. It could be as high as 8 right here. Got that low at 2. So we'll make it 2 to 4, 2 to 6, number 1. And we'll make 25, 29 buy 1. 13 to 17 buy 2. Normally after auction we have a pause day, but we have a big piece of news this morning, and that could change everything. It's that big a piece of news. Gold has backed off overnight in response to a GDP number that might come in higher than forecast. London stopped at 70, so 70, 72, that's where resistance is, sell 1. 75, 77, sell 2. On the buy side, we have been at 65, 67. That's where support is. Because of the news, we'll open it up. We'll make 60, 62 buy 1. 55, 57 buy 2. We'll adjust that after the news. Looking at the euro, that GDP number should take the euro lower. Comes in as forecast at plus 2.6%. So we're kind of where we've been. 109.50 sell 1, 75 sell 2. On the buy side, 25 buy 1. The buck by 2. And again, after the news, we'll come back through and adjust all these numbers. Okay, crude's actually hanging in pretty well, but as long as we stay below 50, I believe the market will sell. I think that's the key number. So 49.50, 75 sell 1, 50 even, 50 and a quarter sell 2. Numbers should sound familiar. 49 even, 48.75 buy 1, and then 48 even, 48 and a quarter buy 2. I think we bust the 48.75 area. We're headed down to 48. ES, Newsday trade. GDP comes in north of 2.6%. She's selling because the Fed's going to increase interest rates. Fundamentally, that would be good for the E-mini, but it is driven by what the Fed's going to do with interest rates. It comes in less than 2%, which would not be fundamentally good for the indexes, earnings per share, etc. But it would mean the Fed probably won't raise interest rates in December. 29 to 31 sell 1, 34, 36 sell 2. On the buy side, 2022 buy 1, 15 to 17 buy 2. So resistance 21.30 to 35, support 21.15, 21.20. Okay, I'm going to get busy posting. Be back with you for the news. Might grab a little bite to eat in between. See y'all in a bit. Good afternoon. It is October the 28th, 2016. Time to recount today's trading. We've got a lower high on our F1 screen, on a lower low on F1 that says look for a place to sell it. Our number one sell today produced a good trade. We had basically resistance in the 21.30 to 21.35. We had two trades out of that area that would have made you money, and our buy area was 15 to 20, and we had trades out of that area that would have made you some money. So pretty good day trading the E-mini. The market broke late this afternoon on the news that the FBI was reopening the investigation on Hillary Clinton. Nobody knows where it's going to go. I mean, if it goes like the first one, she'll be exonerated and sent on her way. But I just, it's very, very volatile. And tell you who the stock market wants to win is Hillary Clinton. So the market closes right here at 21.50. The first sell will be 24.26. Then 29 to 31 would be sell 2. We do have news. Personal income up 0.2. Personal spending unchanged. Core PCE up 0.2. That's inflation. That's the Fed's favorite measure of inflation. Chicago PMI previously 54.2. Didn't have an estimate for that. Dallas Fed previously minus 3.7. And that's the news. So the focus will be personal spending and perhaps Chicago PMI, and then whatever the news is over the weekend on what's going to happen with Hillary. It's all supposition right now. Everybody gets excited, something to talk about. I guess Comey is going to get on the bad list of the mainstream media. They'll go after him tooth and nail. Show him better let sleeping dogs lie. It's a mess these days. You can't it's just so staged, it's so fabricated. It's one lie after another. It's all exposed for everybody to see. It's thank goodness it's exposed finally. Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, really until the internet came on, we would have been spoon-fed lies like we were back then. So will the left and the crony capitalists be able to hold it together? That's what the bet is now. Okay, lower high, lower low. Find a place to sell it for the 10-year. The E-mini dumps, I imagine we'll probably get some buying in the 10-year. We were higher today. We did close higher. We do have a P. I've seen stronger Ps, so no doubt that came from the selling in the E-mini. So right now we're at 17.5. 20, 21 is resistance. So sell 20s to 24s. Sell 1. 27 to 31. Sell 2. Will be dependent on what goes on. What kind of stories are told in DC over the weekend? Damage control. 9 to 13 for buy 1. 1 to 5 buy 2. See all these pictures that get up on the put on the internet of Hillary. She does not look like to be in good health. She looks has not aged well. Some people do and some people don't, and she hasn't. Okay, the last rotate up stopped at 14, so number 1 resistance 12 to 16. First sell 19 to 23. If the E-mini is selling, we don't want to get short in the treasuries. Sell 2, 31 to 03. 162 even, 164. Buy number 1. So 25 to 29 where we were this morning, buy 1. Boy, if we break that, 9 to 13, but it might as well be the buck down at 161. Gold had a big day up. And it happened on the Hillary news too. So uncertainty, uncertain times, don't know who's going to be ruling your country, buy gold. And this was a reaction I would have expected more out of, with treasuries to have seen something like that, but we didn't get that. So the low volume number is at 1306, way up there, and you can see how low a volume that number it is. Up here, 89 is a high volume number. We get through 89 and 1305, 1307. F1 screen says find a place to buy it. And we're at 79. So 83, 85, sell 1. 89, 91, sell 2. Playing for market numbers. The breakout came at 74, so 74, 76, buy 1. Last rotate down was 70, so 69, 71. Let them get stops below 70 for buy 2. OPEC is still working on the deal. Iran and Saudi Arabia haven't agreed on production limits, and that's really going to be very, very difficult to do because, I mean, they are blood sworn enemies. So this 48.61, this is 20-cent increments, is a low volume number. And we had the high volume number down at 48.21. This screen says find a place to sell it. We go to F2. Definitely a B, double distribution down. So 48.75, 49, sell 1. 49 and a quarter, 49.50, sell 2. On the buy side, 48 even, 48 and a quarter, buy 1. And then 47.50, 47.75, buy 2. And crude will be subject to news spikes too. Strong day in currencies. Dollar suffered a little bit. Why would the dollar be off on this news? Well, the status quo may not be preserved. But when you look at Donald Trump's plank and what he's running on, it's tax cuts, repatriation of the $2 trillion that's offshore, cutting rules and regulations, making it all more efficient. That's really good for economic growth over time. Higher low, higher high. Market's going to try to trade higher, if you believe it. F2, several distributions. This I period breakout was on the Clinton news. So a little higher in London. 10.15, 10.25, sell 1. 10.50, sell 2. On the buy side, 109.75, buy 1. And then buy 2, 9.50. And that's it for this October the 28th, 2016. You all have a great weekend. May all your football teams win, and I will see you bright and early Monday morning. Weather's going to be tough to take this afternoon for us. It's supposed to be 80 degrees today, in the low 80s again tomorrow. So I'm going to enjoy it, but I am ready for some cooler weather. Y'all have a great weekend.